What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. We got a pretty good show lined up today. Of course, we'll start with the gaming highlights and end the show with some movie news. There's timestamps below if you guys want to jump around a bit. By the way, you should be seeing High on Life gameplay / Crisis Core, which we'll talk about a little later in the show. I do want to start off with some random news that came out today. So Sony announced Spider-Man 2 is coming out Q3 in the fall, so it's official. Spider-Man 2 is coming out in the fall 2023. So that's awesome news. I don't know really when I expected this game to come out. I actually forgot the original release of Spider-Man 2018 was in September. So I was thinking this was going to be more on the lines of Miles Morales, which came out in November. So all good news there. We're going to get Spider-Man faster than we thought. Do you think they're going to put Wolverine in it? Are we going to get lucky and get a little cameo from Wolverine? That would be really interesting, but I doubt it. I doubt we're going to get too much. But, you know, honestly, if it comes out in October, because it says fall, it could be October, which would kind of suck. But with the Venom and the Kraven the Hunter theme kind of going on, maybe it would be more suited for a Halloween release or a Halloween holiday release, you know what I mean? So that's, all good news. Can't wait. I love the first one. Played it like crazy through 2018 and 2019. I went back and replayed it, and then when I got my PS5, I replayed it again before I played Miles Morales. So that was, it just seems a little rehashed at this point. You know, I do need more Spider-Man, and hopefully we get a lot of good looks at more villains. That would be really exciting. So far, it's just we've heard Venom and Kraven the Hunter. I can't imagine what else is going to be in the game. I forgot the ending to the original. You know, it was so long ago. But I'm pretty sure like they build a Sinister Six throughout that game, and then you defeat them. So I don't know what they're really planning to do with the sequel, where they're trying to go with it, but you know, it should be interesting. Should be a good game overall. So I can't wait. Can't wait. It's probably gonna be one of my game of the years for next year, to be honest, because I'm into Final Fantasy, and we'll talk a little bit about that later too, but Final Fantasy 16, I'm not too, it should be fun, but people are already crowning it the game of the year for 2023, and I think that's a little premature, you know, because it's just who knows what could happen, you know. But there's a ton of games coming out apparently, so maybe, you know, who knows who's going to be the crown victor. But what else PlayStation exclusives are there? Because it's just Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2. I doubt Death Stranding is coming out next year, so I have to take a look at the list again, but cannot wait until this game comes out. It's going to be awesome. But let's talk about these couple games real quick, but I do want to make kind of like a statement real quick that I do have some videos planned to come out within the next week or two. The top 25 games of 2022, a top 10. I did want to do the top box offices for 2022 as well, so that would be really interesting. Put those videos out soon. But the only reason I was kind of holding back was because of these couple games that have yet to come out. We have High on Life, and we have the Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion that came out on the 13th. So I got a chance to finish High on Life. That was a pretty big surprise, I gotta be honest. I was going into it with, you know, I had the mindset that this is gonna be a Rick and Morty humor fest with, you know, decent indie action, you know, because I seen the previous games that they developed, and it was mostly, I think there was a VR one, but they kind of wanted to strive away from VR, and I don't know, it was really low budget VR games is what I was getting off of them. So I didn't really know what they were gonna, how big of a budget they were putting into this, or if it was just gonna be this quirky, you know, not really serious FPS game. And it kind of is, but at the same time, it's relaxing to play. You know, the soundtrack is awesome. The gameplay it's smooth. You know, it's not unenjoyable. You know, there's a variety of enemies that you have to encounter on each mission. There's, I forget how many bosses, I think it's like 8 or 9 bosses that are all pretty unique, and the game is fairly easy. I didn't try hard mode, but normal mode was pretty challenging at times, but for the most part the bosses are pretty easy to deal with. I think you get like 6 or 7 guns by the end of it. You get the blue dude, you get the crystal bitch, the crystal bitch, which was probably my least favorite, just because she didn't have any range, you know, but she could shoot through walls, and then kind of like make this this effect where she could shoot her crystals, and then if you used her super, they could explode. I didn't really use her that much. You had the shotgun frog thing. He was pretty cool. You could also shoot out like these discs, so that was cool. That was usable, you know. But then what was after that? Oh, you had the Mr. Mises gun. So there was this gun that got his brain kind of like worked on, and it got shoved in with like the Mr. Mises. If you've ever watched Rick and Morty, it's like little Mr. Mises. So he shoots him out of his mouth, and essentially, you know, impregnates them to the world. And they only last so long. They explode pretty quick. But you know, they attach on to your enemies and can mind control them and shit. So that was probably one of my more fun guns. And honestly, it was really OP once I got it. You could take down pretty much anybody. Even the higher tier enemies that would take forever, you could just launch all those Mr. Mises on them. And it was some of that. His animations were really impressive too, because like when you run out of them, it like pops up like carrots out of like the roots, you know, just. And so it's it was a trip. But there's a lot of funny moments in this game. High on Life was definitely a good time. They did reference Rick and Morty one time, stating that there are no Rick and Morty references. But so I mean, it was a quirky, fun game. It was a little short, at 9 hours and like 20 minutes. It was pretty short, but you know, for what it was a good experience. And does it have a lot of replayability? Not really, but you know, I mean, it's cool, you know. While we wait for the new season of Rick and Morty, a little good side task is play High on Life, because there were some good jokes. Most of the characters are pretty bland though, unless you just have an infatuation with certain types, but they seem really bland to me. There's just funny moments in the world, you know. It did feel kind of like the world was alive at times, but then when you get to the main characters at your home, they don't move, they don't really walk around, they just kind of argue a little bit, and that's it. You get to see your sister outside of the house, I think once, you know, so that could have done better maybe, but the game didn't have a lot of content, so there was no point in doing a whole mission with your sister if you had a limited amount of missions to go on. But I don't know, maybe they could have worked that in, because she sounded like a badass, and then she was taking care of shit at one point. So I don't know why they didn't include her in more of a dominant way, but that's whatever. The other alien dude, Gene, he had his moments, but for the most part I just didn't care about that character. It's mostly your guns. Your guns are cool, they have personality, they and then the amount of lines, they have so many lines in this game. It was really impressive. Not only are the animations really stellar with the PS5, and I think this is or not PS5, I played it on my Xbox, what am I saying, but this next gen only, I do believe it is exclusive to the Series X and S. I think is really driving, because it looks amazing. Like the world itself, before you go into outer space, it gave me kind of like Dead Island vibes, like the crisp visuals, you know, until you get kind of further on. And I don't know, the animation kind of just like during conversations with your sister, it just didn't look as well as the guns animations did, you know. So I don't know, but it started off looking really good first impression there, and then it kind of dived off a little bit. But the worlds look so vibrant that you don't really notice the cartoony aesthetic that it has going on. But It was, I mean, it's good. Good game. I enjoyed it. Would I play it again? No. But that was a good 9 hours. You know, I didn't waste 9 hours. It was kind of addicting going between bounties because that's pretty much the whole game is doing like 10 of these bounties, and that's about it. You know, there's a little bit of a story there, but not really. But it is impressive how they managed to put so many lines of dialogue into this game, and then if you add on top of that the animations and the gameplay is really good. So if you have Game Pass, you should pick it up. Like there's no reason. I saw a couple people. I posted a poll. A lot of you guys aren't really interested in High on Life, and I've seen online people are kind of ignoring it, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. Some people just don't like the Rick and Morty humor, and it is chocked very full of Rick and Morty humor. I mean, yeah, I mean all the way through, to be honest, like from start to finish. But you know, that's just me. Anyway, let's talk about the other game, the PS5 game, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I'm still playing it. I'm about, I think, 6 hours in, and I live streamed it. You guys are seeing the gameplay now. I had a good time. I haven't played Final Fantasy in a while. This isn't really Final Fantasy VII like the remake. It isn't really like that at all, but it's more enjoyable than Stranger of Paradise, which that was a decent game, don't get me wrong, but I'm having a lot more fun with Crisis Core. Crisis Core is genuinely kind of like more addicting, and there really isn't a story. I mean, the story that's there trumps Stranger of Paradise, but it's kind of going a little slow because if you watch it, if you watch the live stream, I completely ignored the missions. I just thought of it as like a side thing that I'll do once I get a little bit in the story. You know, that's usually how I go about it. But I couldn't do that. And you'll see on the live stream, I ended the live stream because I couldn't defeat this summon, and it was just pissing me off. It really was, and it was late, so I just said fuck it. I'll pick this up tomorrow. So I googled some reviews and what people were thinking about it and the combat system, just seeing what other people were thinking, and they said that you cannot ignore the missions. The missions are vital to progressing through the game, and it was 100% right. I went and did, I think, 10 or 12 of those missions, and I think I got up from like level 9 to level 18 or something like that, and just crushed the summon. It was nothing compared to what I was before. So that was awesome. But as soon as I realized that, the game got more fun, because at that point I'm like, man, if this is gonna be some Dark Souls, impossible to beat type of boss battles, I'm gonna be really pissed. This game is gonna frustrate me because I want to see the story, and I really like Final Fantasy VII, so this is like the prequel, right? So that's what, you know, I was thinking going into it. You know, I wanted this to be just as good. Even at GameStop, the GameStop employee, both of them actually, they got it on the Switch, and their reasoning was because this game was developed for mobile platforms because it was on the PSP. But then I got to thinking, they added both sticks, right? Because the original on the PSP, it didn't have both analogs. You only had one analog, so it was like a fixed camera, right? So I mean, then it makes sense it was more of a mobile game because you're constantly doing these missions that's really repetitive and quick, you know, and then doing a little bit kind of the similar type of fashion when it comes to the main missions as well. But they're, you know, obviously they're more of a variety than these missions. These missions are cookie cutter sometimes, but the actual missions, they look really well done, and the cinematics, it's just awesome. But I don't know. I think it's not really a mobile game. I feel like, you know, I'd rather much play this on, because I was like, they looked at me like I was making the wrong decision. Like, oh, you got it on PS5. It's like, yeah, it's the best platform, I feel like, to play a Final Fantasy game. You know, especially with how the Switch has been performing with the Pokemon game, and I was just not gonna risk it. And you know, Final Fantasy's PlayStation, bro. It's PlayStation. That's, I think, yeah, I think I got a couple on 360 too, but I also have, I might not, I might, I'm not sure. I might have a couple, but I know I got them on PS3, PS4, PS5 is where it's at. But I don't know, I'm having fun. It's a good experience. It's not anything too crazy. It's not bad in terms of writing. I feel like compared to Stranger of Paradise, you know, Stranger of Paradise, that was such a cliche type of game, you know. The graphics were better, I'll say, probably, but other than that, Stranger of Paradise really didn't offer too much. I mean, there was a new combat system that kind of mixed things up because I was coming from Final Fantasy VII, and I think I played the 12 on Game Pass before I played Stranger of Paradise, so I was kind of like into those type of combat systems, and then you come into this one, it's just totally new, and it was a good time. But I think this is much more fun and much more smooth than Stranger of Paradise. You know, maybe not as epic so far, but some of these scenes are just fucking crazy, dude. It was like some of these summons, like when you summon, I think I have like 3 or 4 right now, but they're all dope. They're all epic, coming in from outer space. Like they look like really well done anime, like peak scenes. You know what I mean? Like they're just like, this is the height of this episode type of scene. You know? Can't think of the word. I was thinking of some other word, but but yeah, the game is awesome. You definitely should pick it up if you're a Final Fantasy fan. Most definitely. There is a lot of content. Some of it is repetitive. Like I said, those missions they can get a little repetitive, but you know, you're constantly leveling up and getting new gear and new accessories to buff yourself. It's a good time. It's not a bad time. This live stream footage that you're seeing is kind of me just getting into gears, you know. But you know, the next one I'll probably do, you'll see I've kind of mastered the combat system and gotten acquired with some summons and just more comfortable, because this isn't Final Fantasy Remake at all. I feel like maybe I should go back and replay it, but I don't remember any of this. And then you have the randomizer, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Like sometimes when you really actually need it, and it doesn't give you shit, or it's just a pain. But most of the time it's just, if I hit something, I hit something. Usually I don't need it, you know, because if you do the missions, and like my strategy right now is to do the max amount of missions and then continue the story until, you know, it gets a little tough, and then go back and do some missions and get your levels up that way. And it should balance it to where I'm constantly in motion of this progression. You know, I'm at like level 21 now, so I don't know how many levels there are, but it should be good. It should be a fun time. Probably gonna play a shitload of it this weekend, to be honest. I don't know how long it is, but so far it's a good time. I'm having fun unlocking shit. There's a ton of magic abilities that are really interesting, but some of them just didn't work out for me. I don't know if I just didn't give them enough time, but I did not get into it, if I'm being quite honest. But I do want to talk about Avatar as well. Avatar is, I want to put up what else is coming out soon, because where is it at? There we go. So Avatar 2 is coming out. Well, technically it came out today, but I'm seeing it tomorrow. It should be a good time. My expectations, I feel like they're a little low. You know, I really didn't even really want an Avatar 2, but it's just been talked about for like a decade at this point. So, you know, you got to see it. You know, it's it's like Duke Nukem Forever, just stuck in development hell, you know. And is it gonna exceed expectations? You know, because like we heard nothing about the movie. We saw maybe a trailer at some point, and it looked like Avatar, just whatever happened right after Avatar. You know, it's nothing too crazy, you know, mind bending, you know, plot twists or whatever. It looks like it's gonna tell a straightforward story, you know, maybe you know, someone betrays someone else or something along those lines, but it looks interesting. The thing is, this past month we've gotten so much press about Avatar 2 or Avatar: The Way of the Water, and some people are making James Cameron out to be this man that thinks masculinity is toxic, and that, you know, he's gonna make Avatar: The Way of Water really woke and destroy his chances at making any money and making, you know, his trilogy that he's considering, you know. And I mean, if it has to break 2 billion to make money, that's a tough sell. I don't know why they greenlit this. It's kind of stupid, especially if it starts snowing. If I wake up tomorrow and there's snow everywhere, that is such bad luck for James Cameron, because you got to think people don't want to not only spend money on movies, but like myself, I hate going out and driving in the snow. So I never understand how these movies release in December, especially No Way Home. How that movie did so amazing baffles me, but it was a really good. That was just a really good movie. Avatar, I don't know if that's gonna have the same reaction. You know, it doesn't have the Spider-Man fan base behind it, and then Toby and Andrew Garfield. You know, all the rumors. That movie was sold from the get-go. Really, as soon as those rumors came out. But Avatar, I don't think that's gonna play into the same scenario. Who knows? Is the James Cameron fan base big enough to support this movie all on all on its own after like 20 years of nothing but Avatar? You know, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. Like, this man came from Alien and Terminator 2 and so many amazing movies, and now he's on Avatar, you know, which I think he did a lot of other stuff as well. Let's look at his filmography. Oh yeah, he did Alita Battle Angel. That was really good. That's about it. And that was in 2019, so oh wow. Before Avatar, he was on Solaris. Don't know what that is. Some George Clooney movie. Yeah, he didn't have anything. I don't understand why he gets so hyped up then. Right? He did something called Xenogenesis. Don't know what that is. He did Piranha 2. Then Terminator. He did Rambo. Aliens, which is the best alien movie in my opinion. Terminator 2. He did Point Break, which was a big hit. I can't remember if True Lies was successful or not, but Strange Days, don't know what that one is. And then Titanic, and then he just fell off. 1997, he just fell off. Like, how do you go from Titanic, one of the biggest movies of all time, to The Muse, a comedy film starring Sharon Stone, you know? Like, what the hell happened there? And then the years go by and he just high heels and low lifes. He couldn't have directed. Yeah, he didn't direct that. Thank Jesus. Okay, I was about to say. I didn't even look at that. So he hasn't directed anything since Titanic. That's insane. I mean, Avatar, but that's literally, why do we have so much faith in James Cameron? I didn't even realize this. I thought he made a lot more shit. Maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but yeah, that's disappointing. So why oh my god. You you put $2 billion worth of fate into Avatar: The Way of Water after his Terminator Dark Fate bombed. I do believe. Did that bomb? It might have made some money. Yeah, yeah, I don't think it made any money off of a $200 million budget. Yeah, it didn't do that good. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I'm definitely excited to see what Avatar: The Way of the Water can do. You know, James Cameron was talking shit about the VFX artists at Marvel, saying that theirs blows Marvel away, and they figured out this new way to film underwater. You know, so and make it look more genuine and all that. Well, I think Marvel does like CGI, like they're not actually underwater. So you know, I don't know. We're gonna have to see. I think overall, just from hearing what other people have said so far, it's gonna be a blockbuster movie. It's not gonna be an in-depth, thinker. Maybe it will be. Maybe we'll have some hints at some ideologies and some thought processes on colonization and shit. Who knows? But we're just gonna have to wait and find out. Who really knows at this point what James Cameron is? But he's just applauded like crazy. That is nuts to think about. Like, James Cameron really hasn't done shit, and they're like, the king of cinema, James Cameron. It's like, he's done. I mean, dude, you did. That list didn't even say. He didn't do the original Terminator. Oh no, he did. He did the first two Terminators. The Rambo Part 2, which was good, but he wasn't a director, he was a writer. And what else? True Lies and Titanic, Avatar. Like, there isn't too much to your name, you can't ride forever off of Aliens, like, I made the best Aliens movie. Like, yes, you did. I don't know why they can't remake it, but honestly, this last couple movies, the Prometheus and I forget the other one, the Covenant or whatever, that was really good too. They were up there. They were close. I think Aliens is just a lot more action packed. That's the only reason why it's remembered by fans so frequent, because it was badass. Ripley will never be forgotten. But I don't know where Avatar 2 lands, because there isn't anything really coming out next week. I mean, like the week after Avatar, we have Avatar, and then a week after that it's Puss in Boots, and then a week after that you got a couple with Babylon and I Want to Dance with Somebody, A Man Called Otto. We have a couple movies, but I don't think they're really gonna do that well. Like, is Tom Hanks still a movie star? Is he still gonna garner enough people in to see A Man Called Otto, which is basically a man that's a dickhead? Like, I don't know. And then I Want to Dance with Somebody. Isn't that Whitney Houston's story? So that's, if they don't, that's a sad ass movie. So if it ain't sad, then I don't really care, because it's not a true story. It's just a glamorized version of Whitney Houston. Like, they gotta show the highs and the lows, which, that's where I think they did wrong with Elvis. Elvis, I feel like not only did they get a miscasting, which I like the dude that played Elvis. He seems like a decent guy, decent actor, but he doesn't look like Elvis. And they didn't go into the makeup department and kind of fix him up. Even when he was like overweight, he didn't look like Elvis. They got closer, but I don't know. He just seemed way too linky. Just not like Elvis, And then they didn't go into like his hardships with addiction and self-harm and all these things that Elvis went through. They kind of just skipped over it, montaged it. But I hope this movie. I feel like there aren't a lot of good biopics. Like The Doors is a really good one. The one Jamie Foxx did, damn. Ray was a good one. I don't know. There isn't too many that really nail it on the head, and that's sad. But so like when these movies come out, I always think, oh, they're finally making a Whitney Houston movie, and then I think about it and I'm like, man, it'd be really hard to do a Whitney Houston movie. Like that's gonna be a sad movie. And then you get to thinking, well, they're gonna probably just make it this uppity, poppy documentary, So, but I mean, let's see what they say. Let's see what they say about the movie. A look at the life and career of cultural icon Whitney Houston. It's directed by Casey Lemons, who knows what she did. Yeah, it's pretty much going the Elvis route. They got a lot of people that were connected to Whitney Houston producing it, so I don't know. They're not really saying too much about it. Yeah, they're not saying jack. Fuck. And then the director hasn't done anything. Nothing. She did the movie Harriet. About Harriet Tubman. Okay, well, I see where that's going. Like, can you imagine as a director, you have nothing going into these big projects? She had some. I wonder if she black? That sounds like a white chick's name. Maybe she is. Casey Lemons, born by Karen Lemons. Like that doesn't get any whiter than but then St. Louis, Missouri, so who knows? I have no idea. That's a good thing about Wikipedia. They're not racist. They don't say anything about her race. It's crazy. And there's no photo. That sucks. But I don't know. Seems like she don't really have. I guess she does a lot of black movies, but I don't know. Like, it's fucking Whitney Houston. They play that shit at every baseball game. Well, not every. But yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't think Avatar 2 has a lot of competition, but 2 billion is a big number. If we look at the biggest box offices and domestically is Top Gun Maverick, Black Panther. I don't want to go domestic though. I feel like domestic is a lie. It is a lie. I don't fuck with domestics. Worldwide. Let's go to worldwide. Okay, so Top Gun Maverick is at 1.4, almost 1.5 billion. Jurassic World Dominion is at 2 at 1 billion. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is at 955 million. Minions is at 939. And then Black Panther Wakanda Forever's at 771. It actually beat the Batman, which is crazy because the Batman was so hyped and it actually had pretty good reviews. And then Thor Love and Thunder 760. I don't know what this Watergate bridge is, but it didn't do shit domestically, but it did amazing on worldwide sales. What's this other one? Moon Man? Fantastic Beasts did 405. Who bombed though? Who did terrible? I know Morbius bombed. Probably Nope. I think that's the cutoff. The top 25 is when it gets really bad. I bet the Black Phone made money. There's just a lot of bad movies this year. Can't lie. Who's at the bottom? Jeepers Creepers. Made 5 million. I mean, that's still a lot though, in the grand scheme of things. It's just sad that Jeepers Creepers got beat by so many bad movies, you know? But a lot of these are foreign movies, by the looks of it. The list truly starts at The Fabelmans, the 165th movie, which that was like the Steven Spielberg biopic, sort of. Yeah, that's not really for me either. The new Puss in Boots is already at 156 off of just foreign. See how that goes. I'm curious if Puss in Boots makes it. Pearl didn't do that good, huh? Wow, that's kind of nuts. Considering Pearl was like a lot of people were surprised by X, and I think X should be really high on this list. Spider-Man No Way Home, the re-release, got 9 million. So Spider-Man's re-release topped your entire debut, Pearl. She Said got 10. So that's like the first real bomb is She Said. That's at 141. Jesus. Terrifier 2. I wonder how that did. They got 11 million. Off of a what budget though? That's what I'm curious, because I like that movie. Terrifier 2 budget. Oh, it had a $250,000 budget, so it did really well. Good for them. Good for them. They made like $10 million together. Could you imagine just making a $10 million movie? Well, probably more than that, to be honest. They said it was $250,000 to make, so it was probably like $500,000 to make it. So you still got 11, pretty much. That's nuts. That was a good movie though. Definitely came in at the perfect time, because Halloween was just disappointing. Should have went and saw Terrifier 2 in theaters. Bodies got 13. That's probably. I imagine that kind of movie doesn't take much to make though. You know. Let's see what Bodies did. Oh wow. $90 million budget? Are you serious? No fucking way. Wow. Wow, that's a big bomb. There's no way that's 90 million. Wow. That's shocking. Well, I didn't really like it, so that's good. Oh, I guess X didn't do that good. X only got 14 million. Hopefully it didn't cost too much, because, I mean, it was okay. Wolf of Wall Street got re-released. Firestarter only got 14 million. Damn. Avatar is already at 16 million. That's interesting. Very interesting. So it's at 107. Can it... That's crazy. Think about that. Think about James Cameron right now. He's like, okay, I have to beat 106 movies, essentially. Yeah. Oh wait, what was that? I'm looking at these movies and I just saw 2 Avatars. Or maybe I just seeing shit. I could see them re-releasing the original Avatar. Oh, they did. And that got 75 million. Oh. So you're guaranteed at least 75 million, James Cameron. So yeah, it needs to top every movie. Top Gun Maverick got 1.4. So Avatar needs to go through 100 movies, which it shouldn't be hard. I think it's gonna easily get into the top 30 within opening weekend, and that's like 137 million, right? They're gonna break the top 30, and then after that point, I have no idea, you know, because obviously that 75 million for the re-release, those people are gonna be into it. So you're already almost to 100,000 or 100 million, right? So we'll just have to see. This is gonna be interesting though. I can't wait until the new episode of Box Office Now, because it's gonna be fucking nuts to see where it's at and where the course is going with Avatar 2. Because I mean, I'm pumped to see it, but I'm interested to see where it's going. You know, is it gonna be one of the biggest movies of the year? Because I'm not making that video of the biggest box offices. At least I want to wait until, you know, I give Avatar a shot, you know, give it enough time, like give it a week, you know, see what it can do the second week, and if it falls off, then I'll just pencil it in there, I guess, because can't wait forever. But I do think it should be $1 billion movie, you know, considering Jurassic World Dominion got $1 billion. I'm thinking it should at least get $1 billion. Like, in my line of thinking, that makes sense, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go that way, to be honest. It could, you know. But I mean, if it does $1 billion, then it'll be in the top 3. Easy, top 3. So, be very interesting to see I can't believe Jurassic World got $1 billion. That movie was not. I guess it must have been really hyped. It got all the good hype. You know, I would rather have seen the Batman break $1 billion than Jurassic World, to be honest. But that's just me. But it's just about an hour into the podcast, so that's about it for the show, guys. Can't wait until next week. Next week is gonna be awesome. I'll tell you guys what my thoughts on Avatar was. We're gonna maybe look at the box office again. Should be a good time. There'll be a lot more news by then when it comes to gaming and all that. You know, more things to talk about, because there was a very limited amount of topics. And how long can we talk about Spiderman 2 with no gameplay and the same trailer for ever, it seems? So I don't know. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the Wolf Pack. Peace.